I've always had the question if a chef is made a great cook or born a great cook. In my case, I've always been around food even before I was born. My mom and dad, they were cooking, making events and catering. When I was born, they had a food truck at the time. A memory I have about the food truck is peeling the tomatillos from the wood crate, and then at the end of the day having the sticky fingers from the tomatillos. And that memory is just stuck in my head for like forever. That, and then be able to eat all the food I wanted. Then later on, when I was around 8 years old, my parents got a catering business. We ended up feeding about 350 people for tacos to like 500 people for birria. And then that slowly grew, and we were just working that as a side job for my parents. And I was getting a little interest more in the kitchen. I was liking it. I was trying to get more into it. I would help out my dad with the tacos. I'd be warming up the tortillas or just little stuff like that. With the taco stand, I remember in the 5th grade, I wrote a letter to the day I named it. I titled it "The Day I Wanted to Become," the day I chose to be a chef. And my dad has it framed and everything. I explained in that whole essay, like a page essay of 3 paragraphs. I explained how my dad had his own catering business. We were making tacos. I'd be heating up the tortillas for him, just passing up every little thing, and I just liked the food. So that's when I decided to become a chef. Then a couple years later, my dad got a heart attack. So that made me change focus to becoming a cardiologist. So I was focused on that for a little bit, and my dad was seeing me, wanting to because I told him that I wanted to fix his heart. So that's why I wanted to change the field. And then he saw I wasn't so into it, so he told me, like, if you don't like it, why don't be into it if that's not you. And so I decided to just go focus back on food. And he saw I liked food more, so he supported me and guided me. And then my freshman year in high school came along, and I love food, so they had a culinary class in my high school, in Savannah High School. So I signed up for the classes. My whole high school, 4 years, I met Chef Bob my freshman year. He's one of my first mentors. And all my high schools, I just gave it all my best to my culinary class. Around sophomore year, I started to work I knew this bakery shop around the corner where I lived, around the neighborhood. And I wanted to learn how to make bread. This was like in the 10th grade, sophomore year. So I told my dad, I want to learn how to make bread. Like, help me out. Let's talk to the owner, see if he can give me a chance. So we ended up going to talk to the guy, and he gave me a chance, and he told me to be there at 6 a.m. So I woke up early, and I was doing that around for like all summer of my sophomore year, learning how to make Mexican bread, and I was like 14 at the time. One day in my RP classes of culinary, we had a guest speaker, a chef guest speaker. So we went, and his name was Chris Oren. So little did I know he was going to make a big impact in my life. He showed us how to make a dessert. He just freestyled, and he told us if we ever needed a job to connect with him through Facebook, and so I added him. I became one of his followers. That day ended, and then I was 17 when I started working at a fast food restaurant named Portillo's. Working at Portillo's, it wasn't for me, so I decided to contact Chris to give me an opportunity to work at where he worked at in Laguna Beach. So I kept bugging him for a whole week straight. I was bugging him, kept calling him like, hey, I need a job. I don't like where I'm working at, and he always told me he'd give me a call, but he never really did. And then I was gonna make one last call, and then I was just gonna give up. So I called him one day. I remember July 27th. It was, I called him. I told him if he had anything open for me. So his dishwasher had just left. So he told me to be there the next day, for an interview. And so without thinking, I just told him yes, I'd go for it. During the interview, he asked me if I had a reliable ride to work. And I told him, yeah, I had a car. I told him I had a car at the moment. I won't be late. But little did he know I really didn't have a car. My shift was 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So what I ended up doing was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch the bus on Magnolia, and to make it exactly to work at 7 a.m. right across the street from Laguna Beach. So the next day I was late 15 minutes to work. He didn't know I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so he called me up to the office to explain why I was late. I ended up explaining to him I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to catch the bus. It opened up his eyes to see that the thrive and dedication I had towards the kitchen. So he discarded the warning he was supposed to give me for being late. In Laguna Beach, I slowly made my way up the ladder from the morning dishwasher to afternoon salad and dessert cook to the enchilada station and saute station. Chris Zorn made a huge impact in my culinary universe that has taught me new techniques and little things to know about the kitchen and how to run a kitchen, manage a kitchen. My future goal is to graduate from a culinary arts school with the knowledge of a chef and someday be the owner of my very own restaurant. My name is Alejandro Villegas and I'm an aspiring chef.